Good morning. My name is Anna Shire. I've had a chance to introduce myself to a couple of you, but not everybody. I'm the dean here at the College of Social Work. I'm starting my third year. Is this better? Yeah. All right, I'm going to do Phil Donahue. Usually I say that and there's a subset of people in the room who have to know what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm very, very pleased to welcome you today to our first day of orientation. Just to get a sense of who's in the room, how many people here are from South Carolina, our in-state folks? Wow. Okay, out-of-state people? Nice. Of the out-of-state people, keep your hands up if you're from Georgia. Okay. Let's see. North Carolina? Texas. I know there were a couple of Texas people. What am I forgetting? There's some New England people. Okay. Anybody else from the western part of the country? Okay. Well, good. We got a good mix of folks. The Texas folks and the New England people find each other. New England people make sure to really send home nice pictures on Instagram in the winter when things are blooming here. Anyhow, I am very happy to be here today to have a chance to meet you. I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate us on picking you because we had the good sense to choose you to be here, and we're really thrilled that you're here. But I want to congratulate you because you're embarking on an adventure to join what I, in my professional bias, think is the world's most important profession. Because the job of social work is to tackle and solve the world's most pressing problems. And you can't do anything more important and better than that. And we need you. We've got hunger and homelessness and HIV. We have oppression due to race, gender, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, ethnicity. We have all sorts of problems. And over the next 2 years, what we hope to do is give you the tools to be able to tackle those problems and work towards solving them. And in social work, we really feel like we can give you those tools because in social work, you know, we see the full picture. We know about the overlap and the interlock of the individual and the community, about personal and policies, and we know that helping people grow to their full potential can't happen unless we simultaneously tackle social injustice. So we're the profession that looks at people and looks at social justice and knows we got to tackle them at the same time, and that's how you solve big problems. What you do in your years here matters very much. Jane Addams, one of my personal heroes and a true mother of social work, once said that social advance depends as much upon the process through which it is secured as upon the results itself. So your educational process is really important. Take advantage of it. These next couple of years for you, even though you're going to be working really, really hard, are in a lot of ways a luxury and a privilege. Over the next couple of years, you get to think and learn and arm yourself with tools to deal with really important issues. Grab every opportunity, push yourself out of your comfort zone, use every resource available. One of your key resources is your faculty. And in a second, you're going to have a chance to meet them all, but I would encourage you to take advantage of them. These are amazing men and women doing phenomenal research and teaching excellent courses. Did all of you get in your packet that little Facebook that's got all the different faculty in it? Okay, I'm giving you your first piece of homework. Go through it. Find somebody in there who does something that resonates with what you care about. Somebody who's working with military, somebody who's working with children, somebody who cares about addictions. Circle that name, and in this first week, go meet them. Even if they're not your instructor, go talk to people. We are a resource for you, and that includes me. Please come and see me. My office is Desasher 227. I try to keep 8 to 9 in the mornings open for drop-in times for people. I always have chocolate in my office, so I would love to see you. Check the Facebook, check the website, which I don't know whether we can pull up yet or not, but at some point you'll be able to see it and meet people. I'm going to now turn it over so that you can meet our wonderful faculty that I've been telling you about. I look forward to getting to know each of you over the course of the next little while. I wish you all the best, and once again, welcome. So with that, I'll hand it over to the faculty. feel like I should hum parade music. Hi, welcome. It is wonderful to see you here. I think I speak for all of my colleagues in saying that one of the things that's so exciting about seeing you here is that we're getting to meet our future colleagues. So welcome to the profession, welcome to the college. My name is Naomi Farber. Can you hear? Can everyone hear back there? Has technological challenges, obviously. And I'm faculty in the college and the coordinator of the MSW program. So that means, one, is I'd love just to chat with you, get to know you. If you have any concerns, difficulties, please come see me. I'm in the third floor of Justice Firm. I teach in the area generally of advanced practice, and I also teach the doctoral program. My area of research is largely around teenage pregnancy, high-risk sexual activity, and upward mobility. And please come see me. I look forward to getting to know you. So let me hand this off.
She's shy. I'm Miriam Johnson. I'm the Associate Dean. I've been here for a long time. Used to be in the classroom a lot and really enjoyed that. Now I do mostly administrative work, class scheduling and dealing with student requests and issues and problems, and you will be hearing a lot more from me in the next couple of days.
I'm Susan Parlier. I'm the coordinator of the MSW program and the undergraduate programs, social work minor, and just about anything that has to do with undergraduate ed. We welcome you here. We have several orientations going on today. Some of you were in ours that are in the right place now, I think. So we hope you are all here. We've asked to make sure. I love teaching across the curriculum. I teach practice, I teach justice, I teach policy, I teach it all. I'm a long-standing practitioner, particularly with low-wage working women and their households. So I'm happy to talk to anybody.
I am Gil Chuen, and I teach the advanced practice with groups and evaluation, practice evaluation in the advanced year students. And I am also director of queer-based MSW program. If you have a friend working in this program, please let the person know that he or she has an opportunity to earn a MSW from us while working. And this is the right time and to let us know the opportunities.
Hello, my name is Rob Hawk. I'm an assistant professor, and I teach mostly in the advanced year. I teach advanced practice with families. I'm not teaching advanced practice with individuals, capstone. I'm also the research sequence coordinator. And before this, I was a mental health practitioner. I worked as a therapist. And now I do research with children with autism and their families, and I'm working to help, hopefully, work on family interventions for individuals with autism. So I look forward to getting to know some of you.
Hi, I'm Terry Brown. I'm an assistant professor here at the college. I've taught across the entire curriculum, undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral. My main area of interest is health social work, and I'll be talking to you a little bit later about the different interdisciplinary opportunities you have here at USC for education on that area. And my particular research area is health social work, particularly kidney disease, looking at kidney transplant disparities as well as oral medication self-management. So looking at why people take their medications and why they don't.
Good morning, I'm Kirk Foster, also an assistant professor, and my area, well, I teach primarily in the community practice area. I'm the sequence coordinator for the communities courses here in the college. If you have me already for intro to communities and organizations, I apologize in the beginning, but we'll have fun this semester, I promise. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the community sequence in just a moment, but my primary area of research is collective action and place attachment and neighborhood change, primarily in urban neighborhoods, religious congregations, and the way people engage in various neighborhood level organizations to create sustainable change in the neighborhood.
I'm Vivian Whitaker. I'm an assistant professor. I teach in the doctoral program and in the bachelor's program, so I may not have a class with any of you until you go into the doctoral program later, right? But my research is in the area of teen dating violence prevention and human trafficking prevention, and also child maltreatment prevention. And it focuses on multi-level interventions. You'll hear about the social ecological model a bunch if you haven't already heard of it. So that's working with individuals, relationships, and community level changes as well. And I'm currently doing technology-enhanced multi-level interventions. We're just getting started with a local high school doing that. So if anyone's interested, I may be working with master's students as research assistants, so come and talk to me. If you have overlapping interests or interested in working together.
Good morning. My name is Dennis Poole. I'm a professor in the College of Social Work, and I teach advanced practice courses at this time. This fall, advanced practice in communities and organizations, and in the spring, a course in, I call it financial management, it's actually called resource management, chiefly in nonprofit organizations. My research and practice experience has really been in community development and community change. I'm very interested in those areas, as well as in effective management of nonprofit organizations. I'm doing a lot of research right now with colleagues around the country on capacity building of nonprofit organizations. And my special area of interest is really Latin America. And I took students to Mexico for 10 years. I can't do that now, but I'm interested in doing that next summer, studying it probably in Guatemala. So if you're interested, let me know.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Ron Gittner, and you know I'm always with a cup of coffee. I have taught at the bachelor level, the master level, and the PhD level, so I'm sure at some point I will interact with you. My research area is more on youth violence and school violence, and then I'm very interested also in community violence and looking in particular at neighborhoods, residents who live in high crime neighborhoods, and just very interested in how those residents can sort of retain ownership of those neighborhoods. So I do a lot of research focused on that. I also have a strong interest in cultural social work and just trying to understand how social workers can be more culturally sensitive. So those are my areas. I also am the new director of the Newman Institute. And with this institute, I have my postdoc here, who also is in the institute. We want to get students actively involved in the institute. So you'll see us doing things like trying to reach out to the student groups. So I want to encourage you to look at the student groups, look what they're doing, because we'll be reaching out to those student groups to try to get students more actively involved in the institute. And we also will be using a lot of social media, sending out questions so that we can respond to. So because we're really trying to get students heavily involved. So go to the website, look at the institute, and definitely connect with the student groups. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Stacey Smallwood. I am not faculty. I am a postdoctoral fellow working with Dr. Pittner in the Newman Institute for Peace and Social Justice. My research focuses mainly on HIV prevention, particularly among sexual minority communities of color. But I also do a lot of community organizing and community change work with Ron in the Newman Institute and through an organization that we started called the Community Empowerment Center. So we're really interested in building community members' capacity to create change in their own neighborhoods.
Good morning, welcome. My name is Nikki Wooten. I'm an assistant professor here. I primarily teach clinical practice. I've in the past taught foundational courses in clinical practice, and this semester I'll be teaching interventions in military behavioral health. My research area looks at substance use and psychological problems in military veteran populations, also gender differences in behavioral health service utilizations, and I have a particular interest in women veterans and their health outcomes, particularly post-deployment. I've in the past had undergraduates, master's levels, and doctoral students involved in my research, and I also use some social media to collect primary data, such as Twitter, Facebook, SurveyMonkey, and things of the like. So if you're interested in any way in military social work, please come by and see me. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Dana Dehart. I'm Assistant Dean for Research Support, so a large part of my role is supporting others, including faculty and students, in achieving their research goals, also linking them to research resources. And my own research interests are centered around victimization, violence, trauma, and particularly correctional populations, women in prisons, jails, and juvenile facilities.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Reitmeyer. I'm your Director of Field Education. So y'all will have the wonderful opportunity to be with me for 2 days this week, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be spending a lot of time together. Obviously, general research areas, field education, as well as case method, and I actually have taught across the curriculum and still try to teach a couple of courses here and there. I will teach the systems analysis class that you wouldn't take until you're graduating here.
Good morning. My name is Michelle Thomas, and I am the assistant here. I teach in the BSW as well as the MSW program. Most of the classes I teach are direct practice classes. So for some of you, I might already have registered with me as far as for social work 722, which is social work practice with individuals and families. I know that's kind of difficult to remember. I look forward to seeing some of you in the classroom. In addition to teaching, I'm also in private practice. So I like to bring that into the classroom. I like to have conversations with those that are interested in practice or direct practice. I'm also the sequence coordinator for all direct practice courses, as well as the faculty advisor for BSW SA, which is the Black Social Work Student Association.
Good morning. I'm Mike O'Tone. I'm a field clinical instructor. Primarily, I work in the field office. I've probably already interacted with a number of you through your placements and those kinds of things. And I'll be spending the end of this week with you as well for some of our additional training. I also have taught all through the clinical coursework, foundation and advanced year, as well as the capstone class I typically teach, which Melissa so much will leave evaluate research. Yeah.
Analysis is the formal thing.
This is to decrease your anxiety over a capstone. Prior to coming here, I actually spent a number of years with the Department of Juvenile Justice, which is where some of my interest is with adolescents and juveniles, and I ran a substance abuse program in that setting as well. And so I still have a lot of interest there. And my other interest, as part of my duties here at the field office, is kind of helping you all to get the best experience of combining both your field placement and your academic classroom work to lead here as a social worker. As a field instructor for 11 years, I saw where that worked and where it didn't. So I'm trying to make that work all the time for everyone. And I also will be talking to you a little later today with my other hat on. I'm the current state chapter president for ASW. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Good morning. My name is Uông Nguyen, and I'm an assistant professor in the college. I teach HIPC 1 and 2, as Human Behavior in the Social Environment, which is the required course you will have to take this semester actually. I'm also sequence coordinator for that. I'm originally from Vietnam. Actually, I just returned from Vietnam last night, at midnight. I spent the whole summer staying in Vietnam, staying in a temple, Buddhist temple, studying Buddhist approach to mental health. So my research interest is media discourse and how these things contribute to the agents and also the construction of social problems in America and in the world. I'm also researching international social work and, like I said, Buddhist approach to mental health. So besides teaching HIPC, I'm also in May, I'm going to teach, in the fall, in spring semester, I will teach international social work as well. And I'm planning to take students to Vietnam for 2 weeks in May. So if you're interested, talk to me. I think that's it.
Good morning. That's a culturally appropriate response, thank you. It's called call and response, is that not? My name is Nicholas Cooper-Luter. I am the only lecturer that we have in the College of Social Work. I teach an undergraduate program and the graduate program. My focus in the graduate program is psychopathology, So some of you may want to take that, I don't know. It's required if you're going to become licensed as a clinical social worker at some point. I think you need to at least consider that. My specialties are a number of things. One is I'm considered one of the top sports experts, psychologists in the country. And I work with a number of the athletes that you read about. My most famous athlete I ever worked with was a guy named Muhammad Ali, 2 world championship fights. I've designed a course called Overcoming the Odds in Sports and Beyond, teach that in honors college as well as in the undergraduate program. But nevertheless, I bring that kind of insight, anti-aging and optimum potential to our psychopathology courses and that kind of thing. Of course, I have a private practice. I'm a member of the NASW, along with the National Association of Black Social Workers. I'd like to be sensitive. And what else can I say? Oh yes, I work with capital trials. Those are trials where people are facing the death penalty. I have about 40 right now, young men, all African American, facing death penalty, life in prison. Some more are being added as we speak. I share that because there tends to be, and one of my areas of interest is what has happened from the days of the Ma'afa and chattelization and racism and all of those kinds of things to the cultures that have trouble crossing the empathetic divide so that they can become connected with each other and appreciate each other. So that's one of my areas of expertise, and I've had the blessing to have spoken before Congress on the future of African American males in America, and of course that's one of my research interests. Thank you.
Anyone who's a sequence chair, please don't leave. Dr. Foster is going to speak to you. And please take Dean Shiatt's suggestion to heart and go meet the faculty who's interested in this. Dr. Foster.
I know there are more sequence chairs. I'm not sure where they're hiding this morning. All right. So, as I said, I'm the sequence coordinator for the community courses, primarily community practice courses that entail only 2 classes. One of which all of you in this room will take unless you proficiency by exam out. And Dr. Parker will share that information later on. Those 2 courses are the introduction. I've taught this at different universities, so I always forget what we call it, but it's basically foundation practice with organizations and communities. Here it is Social Work 732, and then also the 734 course, which is advanced practice with communities and organizations. Then for those of you who choose the macro practice track, we'll be taking that course as well next fall. Yeah, this is that question. 732 and 734. I always forget what that second number is. So basically what these courses are about, it's very Victorian, meaning that the title will tell you everything you need to know about the book. So this semester I'm teaching one section of Social Work 732, the intro course, and Dr. Poole is actually teaching the advanced communities and organizations course. Essentially, I just want to be upfront that both of these courses, they are a lot of work, and they draw on bringing together your understanding and your knowledge of how individuals and groups work to understand communities and organizations. So we set it up early on that it's not either micro practice or macro practice, but really, as we think about communities and organizations, what are they comprised of? They're comprised of families and groups, right? And so all the practice that we do with organizations and communities draws upon that fundamental knowledge that you have about the ways in which people interact together, either as a group, or the ways or the kinds of things that drive people to behave the way that they do. So we can't understand really how and why organizations might be functioning the way they do, or when work groups function the way they do, or the way they don't function the way we'd like them to, unless we fully understand the ways that individuals and groups act. So that's just a little bit about the foundation or the background, if you will, of the community practice sequence, because we're really focused on how social work practice plays out at the community level. In 732, you will have, everyone has the same basic 2 assignments, and that is a community analysis and grant proposal. But remember, you will be drawing upon multiple disciplines across courses in social work. So you will be drawing upon your policy courses, your organizational behavior, as I said, your micro or individual groups. Maybe some of you had courses in political science or economics or sociology. Again, we will draw upon all of those backgrounds and all those theories and those cognitive disciplines to help us understand the ways in which the communities function. Is that enough?
It is. Do you want to, excuse me, social workers just respond?
No, I can do that now. I didn't have the agenda in front of me. I'm speaking on a couple of different things. So I got the sequence coordinator stuff out of the way, but now I'm supposed to be socializing you to the profession.
And then get socialized, and then we'll go back to the
I must admit, I was sending a text message to church yesterday to my co-principal investigator about an addition to a sub-name that we should add to our research project that we have going on in Atlanta. And my excuse to him was, I have so much going on that my brain doesn't rest. And so my partner looked at me during church as and as a former church pastor, I know how annoying it is when people pull out their cell phones and do stuff. But my point in telling that story is my brain is just running in a million different directions these days. So forgive me.
We can keep up with you. It's okay.
Right.
We're
Wonderful.
with you.
Fantastic.
We're with you.
So socialization to the profession. What is it really to be a social worker? And so if you will indulge me for a moment, and I don't do this in class, so don't worry, those of you who have me this semester or those of you who may sign up for me in the coming year. But I want to take a moment and share with you the preamble to the NASW Code of Ethics, and you will read this. And it's assigned reading in my course, and it's assigned reading in other courses. And the reason that we assign it to you is so that we know that at least at one point you will have read it. But I want to share with you the preamble to the Code of Ethics, and then reflect on that a little bit, if you will. I think I have 10 or so minutes. Someone tell me.
Sure.
Until when? 9:45. I do have about 10 minutes. Although
No, you have a little bit more. Yeah, you have a little more.
My other spiel.
Exactly.
So the primary mission of the social work profession is to enhance human well-being and help meet the basic human needs of all people, with particular attention to the needs and empowerment of people who are vulnerable, oppressed, and living in poverty. A historic and defining feature of social work is the profession's focus on individual well-being in a social context and the well-being of society. Fundamental to social work is attention to the environmental forces that create, contribute to, and address problems in living. Social workers promote social justice and social change with and on behalf of others. Always remember that, with and on behalf of clients. Clients is used inclusively to refer to individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. You see a theme here. See how some of your foundation curriculum is set up. Social workers are sensitive to cultural and ethnic diversity and strive to end discrimination, oppression, poverty, and other forms of social injustice. These activities may be in the form of direct practice, community organizing, supervision, consultation, administration, advocacy, social and political action, policy development and implementation, education, and research and evaluation. Social workers seek to enhance the capacity of people to address their own needs. Social workers also seek to promote the responsiveness of organizations, communities, and other social institutions to individuals' needs and social problems, and that's primarily what I look at in my own research. Social workers also seek to promote, I said that already. The mission of the social work profession is rooted in a set of core values. These core values, embraced by social workers throughout the profession's history, are the foundation of social work's unique purpose and perspective. So what are those? Service, social justice, dignity and worth of the person, importance of human relationships, integrity, and competence. I know if you sit in my classroom, we will have conversations around creating a place at the table, and I like to think of the social work profession as precisely that. I don't know if it comes from my own clergy training, but I often think about how it is that we as a profession can create another space at the table, pull another seat up to the table. And as you think about it, as I think about the social work profession, that is the image that most often comes to mind, because so often we're working with folks, either individuals or groups or communities that have been pushed to the edge or marginalized. So one of our primary goals as a profession is to create a place at the table, giving a voice to. That's the fundamental root of advocacy. It really means, if you go back to the Latin form of the word advocacy, or to advocate, it means to give a voice to. And how can we give voice to if someone doesn't already have a place at the table? And so as you think about the profession, as you think about metaphors that work best for you, I invite you to reflect on what it might mean to create a place at the table. Reflect on a time when you yourself might have felt as though you didn't have a place. And what it must have felt like when you finally arrived, if you will, when you were finally invited to pull up a chair, or you took the chair and you walked over to the table and you just flung it down, right? Or pushed people aside so that you could get your way at the table. This profession is about empowerment. So not only is it creating a place at the table, it is helping folks find their own voice. And again, remember the practice areas: individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. It's helping across practice areas people to find their voice. Now, it's not giving voice to, remember that phrase, with and on behalf of clients. So sometimes we might be advocating on behalf of our clients, but when we are working with our clients, it's helping them to find their own voice, their own story, and crafting that narrative in a way that other people can hear it and understand it, and perhaps make lasting, sustainable change. Not only at the community level, but at the individual level. If you think about it, how does an individual find their own story and their own narrative? And then embody that. This idea of empowerment is, to me, rooted in helping our clients shape their lives so that they have meaning and purpose. And it's not a phrase that I came up with. That's the idea from a Nobel Prize winning economist, Amartya Sen. He talks a lot about creating lives and creating communities that have meaning and purpose, and working with individuals and communities so that we can help them create the system or the life that has meaning and purpose to them. Not necessarily what we think is right or what we would like them to do, but some form of a narrative that fits best for them. The profession is also about reconciliation. And what do we mean by reconciliation? What we mean by it is rectifying the fit between the person and their environment through all levels of practice. So what we deal with a lot in social work is that discord between a person and their environment. And so in that instance, we have to understand what that discord is all about. And we have to understand what's going on at the various levels of practice so that we might then perhaps define an intervention or whatever the mode of action might be to come to that place of reconciliation. We, as social workers, are agents of change. So hopefully you will always think of yourself through that lens. Let me end with this, and that is, the reality is that we live and we work in a broken world. Right? If we didn't live and operate and breathe and eat and sleep in a broken world, none of us would be in this room, right? It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be a hill of beans. There would be no need for social work practice. But the reality is we do live in this broken world. And we work with broken individuals who lead lives filled with challenges. One of the important things to recognize is that we too ourselves are broken individuals. And we're broken in our own unique ways. And our task, therefore, is to be self-aware, to seek our own wholeness, to understand and know what our limitations are. And I've been known to say this quite often, and that's the phrase, to keep our house in order. Because if my house is not in order, then how on earth can I be an effective practitioner with a community of people who might be broken or facing significant challenge? So you have to understand yourself enough, you have to know yourself enough to know where those points of discord are within you, to know your own weaknesses, to know your own strengths, to know when it is that you hit a wall and you just can't go any further, and why it is you've hit that wall. And we do all of that to be effective practitioners. You cannot be an effective practitioner if you are not self-aware. And I like to say that those of us in the helping professions have some of the hardest jobs around. And we don't punch a time clock. When you leave your office, you don't forget about your clients. You don't forget about the community that you spend so much time in. You don't forget about the organizational funkiness that may be happening. But you take that with you. And just as I said, yesterday, I was like sheepishly texting. It wasn't during the sermon, I promise you it was not. They were singing some song that I didn't know, and the bad thing is I perform with a band from time to time, and so I really should be paying attention, right? But my point is, your mind is always on. So you have to remember why it is that you chose social work as a profession. It is not a time clock profession. You will not leave it behind when you get in your car. Bless you. So on those days when you wake up in the morning and you think, can I get out of bed? Do I want to go to the office? Do I want to go into that community? Can I see another client? Can I hear another tragic story? And I've heard many of them. When you think that you can't put your feet on the floor to walk into that space of practice that you have carved out for yourself. Remember why it is that you chose social work, or you feel that social work as a profession has chosen you. So my hope is that sometime over the course of the next few days or the next few months, that you will be able to answer that question for yourself very clearly. Why did I choose social work? Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to paycheck. I do say it. But there's some larger existential reason that those of us who come into social work come into social work. And when you can answer that question for yourself, and the answer will change over the course of your profession, but when you answer that question for yourself, on those days when you just don't think you can put your feet on the floor and face the trials and tribulations and all the challenges and the frustrations that you may have in the profession, not always with your clients, but maybe with the systems of oppression that surround your clients, those things that you see as obstacles, whatever the case may be in the milieu of social work practice. When you answer that question, why it is I'm in social work, then you can put your feet on the floor, you take a big, deep breath, and start over once again. But if you can't answer that question, and if you don't take care of yourself in the process, then you won't be able to face yet another day. So, welcome. Oops, I don't think I've scared anyone away. Welcome to not only the University of South Carolina College of Social Work, but welcome into the profession of, what did I do? I think I just stepped on this, Naomi. Oh, I didn't break it permanently.